Hey, second graders, welcome to the week of May 25th. So, a couple of things for this week. I know actually today, Monday, May 25th, is Memorial Day. So you might be doing some Memorial Day plans, but I still provided work for you or learning opportunities for each day this week, including Monday. So if you get to Monday's work, great. If you don't, just push everything back a day, okay, and do what you can. So do it at your own pace, but the main things that we have that we do on Mondays, if you need to move some of those things to later this week, that's okay too, all right? This week will be our last week of poetry officially, because after this week, we only have 2 weeks in June. So things will look a little bit different for June. We'll have some really super fun learning activities for you. But I can't reveal too much, but I'm so excited. Let me tell you, your class project this week is going to be, the question that I have for you is, what could you teach someone else because you do it really well? So what's one thing that you could teach somebody else because you do it really well? What's one thing that you do well that you could teach somebody else? So think about that as this week happens here. What could you do this week, or what have you done in these last several weeks that you feel like you could teach somebody else? It could be a school thing. So maybe you're getting really good at double-digit subtraction with regrouping. Or maybe it's something totally different. Maybe it's a sport, or it's a specific skill, or it's a jump roping thing. Tell me what you could do really well. And I gave you what I think I do really well on my Google slide. So take a peek at that for this week. This week is also the last week of those virtual field trips. If you've been doing those, I hope that they're fun. If you haven't, go ahead and take a peek at them. You can always go back and see them. You don't have to do them in the order that they are. So choose the ones that are good for you, that look fun. For reading this week, we're really going to focus on fluency. So how you read and what it sounds like to be a good reader, because we are becoming just the most amazing readers. So I want to know how it sounds to be a good reader. We practice that fluency piece, okay? And poetry is a really great way to practice your fluency, because there's a lot of rhythm and rhyme. And so the way that you say it kind of rolls off your tongue. I did put some links to some fluency videos, but I also recorded a fluency video where I teach you about the different aspects or components of fluency. So be sure to watch that this week before you're reading. The story that you're going to read to practice your fluency this week is called Thunder Cake. And it's by an author, a Michigan author, Patricia Polacco. She's one of my favorite authors. She has several books. Thunder Cake is one of my favorites. This book we would have read in our Bobs, our big orange books at school, and done some work on them. The reason I love this book too is because at the very end, they make something. They make a very special cake. And so I included the recipe for you. So you're going to be able to listen to the book with a link, okay? Then I want you to read it. I actually attached, so parents, your PDF is attached to the email this week. So it's not in the Google Doc, but in the Google Doc it says, go to the email, it's attached to the email. There's a PDF of the text itself of Thunder Cake. So in the text this week, there's a lot of opportunity for some fun fluency practice using this story Thunder Cake. So when you look at this text, you're going to be listening to it first, thinking about if and how this reader is fluent as they read you Thunder Cake. And then you're going to go ahead and read that text through, okay? Parents, you can print it if you want. You're welcome to, but certainly you don't need to. They can definitely read that text on the computer screen. And also, friends, even if you just practice a page of it. So let's say you've read it, you've listened to it, and you read it along with the words, you could just practice your fluency for one piece of the text in general. So maybe choose a favorite page and just practice that page for fluency, okay? You'll notice too that there are some questions in the reading section about Thunder Cake. So some comprehension questions to get your mind moving as you read. So please be sure each day to look at that to go along with Thunder Cake, okay? And if you want to answer them all at the end of the week, that's fine, however you want to do it. But I did give you some questions as you think about your reading this week, okay? All right, so that's your awesome reading this week. And on Friday, I asked you to make a Thunder Cake. Now, clearly that's optional, and parents, you might not have the exact ingredients, but it's basically a chocolate cake, but it has some interesting ingredients in it. I have made it before, and it does taste good. But even if you just wanted to make something similar, a similar idea, that would be cool too. So maybe you have some brownie mixes in your house. That might be fun, or a Rice Krispie treat or something. So you can make a Thunder Cake or a Thunder dessert, okay? And then, of course, send me pictures of you eating it, especially if I can't enjoy it with you, okay? For your Leader in Me stuff this week, we're really just talking about kindness. I think it's so important to continue to revisit this during all of this sickness, during this pandemic, right? We are seeing so many people just do things that are really kind for each other, donating things and helping each other out. And I just want to remind us as learners that we too can be kind. So I ask you, what can you do to be kind to others during this week, okay? And so there's a little video for you to watch there as well. For math this week, we're going to start multiplication, which is kind of amazing. We are going to start specifically with zeros, ones, and twos. That lesson is going to be done from Mrs. Demas. And then I'm going to teach you multiplication of 5s, 10s, and 11s, okay? Once you see these patterns, those are the ones that we're hoping that you can master like throughout the summer here. Over the next several weeks, but you most certainly can try multiplying by 3s and 4s, 6s, 7s, and 8s and 9s. That's cool too, but these are kind of the starting points of multiplication, okay? So watch those videos. Mrs. Demas and I have also included a few other videos that are on YouTube of zeros and ones and twos. So go ahead and watch those as well. And then there's some resource pages at the end of the document that will help you practice multiplication, some QR codes for you to practice them, and a math page that was taken from your math journal to kind of take a peek at. So go ahead and make sure you're doing that throughout the week. Still those games of array concentration, if you didn't make it yet, this would be a great week to make that with zeros, ones, twos, 5s, 10s, 11s. That would be a great chance to make that array concentration with those facts, or maybe make some multiplication flashcards if you don't have them. So as you practice them and learn about them, you're going to write the fact on the front, and on the back, write the answer. You can do this with anything, parents. Cut some paper up into pieces, get creative with it, have them do an array with the answer. So really you can extend this, make it longer and longer. So maybe do, 5 facts that have a 0 in them, 5 facts that have 1s, 5 facts that have 2s, 5 facts that have 5s. So in the end, you have a nice collection of cards that you can kind of practice. You can put them on a ring if you have one. I've even done it with just a ribbon. That works if you make it a loop. A car key chain link, that would work through them. Or you can just have them in a pile. We can also play a matching game with them. So put them down and then flip one up. If it's a zeros fact, or if it's a matched with another zeros fact, those can be pairs. So there's lots of different opportunities to play with flashcards and to get to understand them. Again, the same tools that I put down for addition subtraction practice a couple weeks in your email. Those would be a good thing to do with multiplication facts too, once those are mastered. So these are kind of throughout right now this week skills, but also throughout the week. Okay. Am I talking fast enough for you? Always, right, Mrs. Green? Goodness me. This week, like I said, will be our final week officially for poetry. And so for poetry this week, we have our haiku. Say that word with me, haiku. Yeah, it's a Japanese poem, and it's awesome because it's all about syllables, which really goes well with our fluency because it makes a really nice rhythm in a poem. It's called a 5-7-5. Okay, so it has 5 syllables, then 7 syllables, then 5 syllables, and typically they're about nature. And the reason I think this is a great week to do that is because, you know, last week of May, hopefully we're getting some good weather here and you can be outside writing your haiku. That's my favorite place to do it. They're not long poems. I have a bunch of videos, 2 videos up for you about haikus and how to write them. They're really just super fun to work on, and I hope that you really do have the chance to write some haikus. I'm asking for 2 to 3 haikus this week. It might take you 2 or 3 days to write it, just because the syllables, sometimes you need a day to think about what you're writing, a day to write it, and then maybe that same day you draw a picture for it. But these can be some of the most beautiful poems too, because the outside world is just such a beautiful place. So after you write your poem, take some time to really either maybe take a photograph of what gave you that idea outside and put that with your poem. That's cool. Or draw that picture, draw that image that you saw that kind of allowed you to write this haiku poem. Okay. Some of my favorite poetry though. I think you're going to really love it. Okay. What else do I have to say to you? I think that might be it. Coming up this next couple weeks for June 1st and June 8th, the document is going to look very different, parents and kiddos. So be on the lookout for some changes there, a little bit of a lighter pace, and a little bit of more of those fun end of the year wrap-up activities that we typically would be doing when we're at school, okay? So I hope you have a great week of learning. Make sure you're still doing all of those things. I Know It skills and Lexia and Freckle and Raz Kids, and try to get on here and there throughout the week. I'll see you back for a shout out video. I also have new Frindle chapters recorded, so we should be recorded through chapter 8. So we're about halfway through. I'll read 4 chapters the week of June 1st and 4 chapters the week of June 8th. So we will finish it that last week of school, okay? I hope you have a great week of learning. If you guys have any questions, give me a buzz. You know where to find me, and I will see you soon, hoping for the sunshine this week. Talk to you guys later.